Hello and welcome to the Confidence Academy podcast. My name is Lilli Badcock and I am a transformational confidence coach and founder of the Confidence Academy Members Club. I know that you're stuck in a cycle of feeling anxious, lost and frustrated, but I'm here to tell you that the anxiety you're experiencing is not a weakness. In fact, it's a message. It's a sign that you are a precious soul with an important mission to fulfill. When you stop feeling afraid of the anxiety, you get your power back. You remember just who you are and why you're here. The fact is that the world needs your gifts, and the time to rise is now. Join me as I help you to navigate through those feelings of frustration and anxiety so you can get on with living your life exactly as it was meant to be lived, full of inspiration, fun, and in full alignment with your soul purpose. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hi everyone, it's Lilli here. I can't wait for you to hear this conversation that I had earlier this week with Nick and Courtney. It's absolutely phenomenal. This is just a really quick warning to let you know that at times the language got a little bit passionate and a little bit fruity. So if you are listening around little ones, you might want to grab some headphones. But that's all. I'm going to leave you now to enjoy the episode. And don't forget to leave a review if you love what you hear. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, welcome back to the Confidence Academy podcast. My name is Lilli Badcock and I am so excited, and I know I say that every time, but it's really, really true. I am so excited to welcome Courtney and Nick Tillier to the podcast. So Nick is the game changer, the game changer. It's very important that we put the in front of that. And he is a coach for high performing athletes. And Courtney is a life coach for women who want to have it all. And I'm going to hand straight over to them so they can tell you in a far better way than I just did exactly what they do. But Courtney and Nick, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Excited for this.
Yes.
I am really excited. I have to say, this is the first podcast I had to give someone a boner to get them on as my guest.
Yes. I was gonna say boner was required in order for me to say yes to this.
Yeah.
So I actually posted a few nights ago that I was only doing something that made me go from 6 to midnight. I only want to do stuff I'm passionate about, shit I love, stuff that excites me. No more fucking boring podcasts or interviews or anything. Yeah. And Lilli had the balls and lady parts to message me like immediately after that and hit me up for this. I was like, anybody who knows and stands in their power and what they're doing, after I say some shit like that, I will fuck with them. Like, I am on that podcast.
Oh, I love it. Do you know, it is like a red rag to a bull with me, though. I'm just like that anyway. If someone's over there going, yeah, no, if what you're doing is crap, I'm not going to be on it. I'm like, well, I'm not crap. I'll show you.
Right. And that it wasn't like intentional. I just want to let people know, like, don't fucking hit me up if it's not going to be fun, if it's not going to be life-giving and exciting to me and give me the boner I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I wasn't intentionally like calling people out to come forward, but the people who have messaged me have been incredible. You asked, like, does this give you the boner you require? I was like, fuck yeah. Somebody else messaged me, and it's not an event that I want to do, but they promised me a stripper pole in my green room. And I was like, well, now like we can maybe consider it, but it still doesn't light me up the event, but I appreciate the balls that people have. Yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is, though, I mean, both of you are hugely inspiring to all the people that follow you. And I definitely want to dive into your story because, oh my God, some of your posts have dug me out of a dark time because we all have them. We all have these highs and lows, and it doesn't matter how well your life is going. I feel like there are always waves that are going to hit you. You're going to be riding high and then you're going to get that crash. And your posts have pulled me out of the crash sometimes, just at the point where I've been like, am I actually kidding myself? I'll see something from Nick or I'll see something from Courtney and I'm like, nope, they did it. And if they can, I can. And that's something that I live by. So on behalf of everyone who follows you and everyone who will follow you off the back of this, thank you so much for being so open and vulnerable and hilarious. Nick, your posts have me in stitches a lot.
Thank you so much. Amazing. Yeah. It's so important for us. Like, one, we obviously want to to tell our story from a place of truth. We want to tell our story from the place of the difficult times and the hard times. I know what people are going through. We have been there ourselves. We have our roots in, certain struggles and difficulties and taking big leaps and scary shit. So it's so important for us to not forget that ourselves and continue to tell the story while empowering people from the place of where we are now, which is having created an amazing life full of freedom and capacity and love and joy. And we live by the beach in California. Everything is ideal. Everything is so good, but we never forget where we were not too long ago. Literally 20 months ago, we were bankrupt and homeless. And we are here now where we are today because of continuing to have faith and continuing to believe and holding a level of certainty, even when all the appearances in our life were like, no, it's not going to fucking work out. Look, you guys can't even pay your bills. You can't even feed your children. So it's so important for us to continue to speak that message. And we don't try to be inspirational. We just decided to be us and allow that to be whatever it is.
And that's perfect, because this whole podcast has gone in a direction of allowing people to be unshakably confident in who they are at their soul. And the whole point is, there is no one or nothing you need to become. You're already enough as you are. And there's so much I want to say about that little thing you just said there, that, it is inspiring. It's inspiring for those people who are maybe going through a tough time and seeing it. But also it's that whole message of you just had faith. Like when there was nothing else around, you still had that little whisper inside of you that was going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah. And what I love about your message now is that actually you did have that struggle. You now realize it didn't need to be that hard. It didn't need to get to that point. And anyone who is in that place now, and I know how annoying this is, by the way, everyone listening, I know, I listen to my own stuff sometimes and I want to kick myself in the nuts, because when you're in a bad place, somebody going, it's just a choice, makes you want to forearm smash him in the fanny. But, it really is. And it's not a choice. It's not a case of, oh, well, I'll just choose not to be anxious then, or I'll just choose not to be broke. But you always have the control over the choice of whether you completely lose your shit and freak out, or whether you just sit with it and go, well, what is the best I can do right now? I'll just do that, and then I'll do the next thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. So I love that you come from those two places almost simultaneously, because on the one hand, you're super inspiring and you're super successful now, and the results that you're getting for your clients are incredible, but you still talk about the journey and you are still speaking to those people. And I love that, because I will do the same. Hopefully I am doing the same, and I will continue to do the same.
Yeah. That's one thing we always want to stand for is, yes, we went through the struggle. Yes, it was hard. Yes, we had to have faith. Yes, we had to almost ignore the appearances and decide it was still going to work, even though there was no fucking evidence of that. But that all of that was unnecessary. We never had to experience the struggle, and it can be easy, it can be simple. Things can elevate for you so quickly. Support was literally the thing that made the difference for us, was being able to move through the inner shit, because it was never like we were never showing up for it. When it was still a struggle, when it was still hard, when the conditions weren't good, we were showing up every day. And I know that can be frustrating for people when they're showing up and they feel like they're doing all the right things and it's just not working. So we stand for both. You can go through the struggle and you can have faith moving through that, but also with a level of support, the struggle just really isn't necessary.
Yeah. And I think as well, something I'm learning constantly, and something that's been very evident for me over the last 12 months is, it really isn't what you're doing, it's the energy with which you're doing it. Because essentially, I don't feel like, on the surface, I don't really feel like I'm doing anything different. And yet I feel completely different. Only last night I went back to my choir. So I run a choir here in Salisbury, and my whole thing is about, I talk about overcoming anxiety and building confidence, but I'm a professional singer and a performer. And so I use music and singing in order to help people shift through those emotions, because I think music is so powerful for doing that. And I've had that choir for 12 years, way before I read any self-help books or listened to any podcasts or found out who Oprah was or any of that, you know. In fact, I probably did know who Oprah was, but no one else.
Everybody knows who Oprah is.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like, and the funny thing was, I've done it this whole time and have always loved it, you know, and any time it got a bit hard and I thought about giving it up, something inside of me was going, don't give it up. It's the wrong thing to do. And I just knew it. And the whole time I've been trying to create like something, you know, I've come up with all these program ideas and I've been posting on Instagram and doing my little, you know, graphics in Canva and all the shit that you're doing, like going in groups and fucking giving value here, there and everywhere, and still going, oh, I'm failing. But the whole time I had this choir that was constant and that was building. And just at the end of last year, I just had this epiphany, a load of epiphanies actually. And one of them was, it was almost like somebody just tapped me on the shoulder and went, psst, look over there. Like, look what you did. Like, all the while you've been ball aching that you can't do it. You're fucking doing it. You just didn't know. And that's been huge. And the minute, like literally the second I realized that, it blew up. We were booked way solid through December. We had more gigs than we've ever had. I went back to choir last night. My choir had about 20 to 25 members in it. Until last night, we had almost 50 people in that room because they all suddenly saw me because I saw me, you know? It was like, oh, I get it now. So it's not, you know, you can do the things, but until you shift the energy and it's having that belief that you actually, you are here for a purpose. You're here for a purpose. Nobody came for an accident. You didn't drop out of the sky, some willy-nilly thing, you know, you're here for a purpose. And here's the real, oh shit, Nick moment. Like, you already know what it is. You know it, but maybe you're not owning it, or maybe you think there's no way it could be that. It's too easy. You know, it gets to be easy, like Nick just said.
Yes.
And I have a purpose workshop where I teach people essentially to discover their purpose. And that is the common thing in that process is people, it's like a coming home to, oh, it feels like I just learned something new, but a part of me knew that shit all along. My soul always knew that. The little kid in me always knew that. People told me I had to be realistic and I had to do what would make money and be sustainable and all that shit. And I essentially strayed away from all that. And now I get to discover that and come home and realize that was always fucking there.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so, Courtney, with the work that you're doing, so yours is specifically women, is that right?
Correct.
So tell me what you do. What do you do for these women that want to have it all? Because to be honest, I definitely want to have it all. And I think I will not be alone in people listening to this. So give us your nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah. So I work specifically with women who desire, we all have these desires in our hearts and things that we want to have. And like Nick kind of talked about with your purpose is we hear things of like why we can't have it, or we're told to be realistic, or people. And so we go down this path and we create these stories and these beliefs of I can't have this, or I'm not meant to have this, or I'm not good enough to have this, or do this, or whatever. And so then we start to believe it. But the truth is you were always destined to have it. Like if it's something you desire in your heart, it was given to you for a reason. And so it's a lot of the work I do is really getting out of our own way and realizing like, actually, I really can have this. And it can be relationships. It can be the job. It can be the career. It can be the kids. It can be the lifestyle. It's so many different things. And it's things that a lot of my clients didn't even realize they had were desires because they've been so suppressed. Right. So like a lot of my clients, it's kind of a joke is that they realized all along that they wanted a puppy. For so long that like their family was like, you can't have it, or like religious beliefs say they're not allowed to have a dog and all these different things. And so like, actually like my heart and soul really wants this. And so a lot of my clients end up getting puppies, or their dream relationship appears because they've done so much of the inner work that allows these things they've desired to finally come into their life.
Right. Yeah. And that's so powerful. And I think you're right. And I was obviously, as a woman, I can relate to that. We are riddled, and it's almost like we have an army of things in our head. Like the minute you have one tiny little good idea, there's a whole army of people over here going, why you can't have that, why you're not worthy of that, what could possibly go wrong if you go for that. And, you know, something very powerful I learned to do only in the last 6 months or so was to give myself the space just to ask another question. So if I felt like there was something I wanted and I was immediately hit with, oh, but what if this and what if that, blah, 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 I would just give myself another second and go, if you weren't concerned with what anybody else thought, then what would you do? And it's terrifying to do that. But oh my God, the first time I did that, I was like, shit, like every single thing I do is for somebody else, and not just for them, but so that they will like me. Like I realized I was like, oh my God, people won't like me if I do blah, blah, blah. And number one, what bullshit. And number two, who gives a fuck anyway? Like that's where I'm at now. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. And we deny our soul, and like, it doesn't make the people happy, and it really doesn't make us happy. Like it's a lose-lose for everybody.
Right.
Everybody wins when you honor your desires, especially in the feminine energy. Like when you are embracing your desires and owning them, like when Courtney is in her most feminine and she's just embodying that and sexy, like we get everything that we want. It really impacts us, but it opens up for so many more women to just honor the things that they really want in their heart and their soul. And yeah, like she's an inspiration with her body, but it's the embodiment of that femininity that everyone's like, fuck, I want that.
Yeah. And I see it a lot too, just at the beginning stage of like what I want to wear and how I want to express myself. Like I see so much suppression in that simple thing on a daily basis, from young women to women who are like 50, 60 and like grandmothers that want to be like, well, I want to express myself differently than I feel like society is allowing me. So it's like that beginning step too of like, I get to express myself how I want.
Yeah, totally. And I want to make a really important distinction as well. I mean, if anybody goes and checks out Nick and Courtney's profiles, I mean, you'll see how hot they are. And obviously Courtney's Instagram is just gorgeous. But it's really important to say that this amazing mindset, this amazing link to purpose, and this amazing energy you have is what came first. And then the outer package follows. So it's not about, anyone who's beasting their ass in the gym thinking, when I get a flat stomach, then I'll be happy. When I get an ass like J-Lo, then I'll be happy. Like, I'm really sorry, sweetheart, but you won't, because it's not that. And I've learned that myself. When you're constantly going, oh, and I was really good at this, at going, oh, I just need like a bit more money, or I just need to meet the right person. And they come along, and it's like, it's almost like you go, okay, great. Oh no, now what do I need? Because what you're searching for is you. It's within you. It's like my kids at Christmas, where they rip off the paper and they're like, that's nice, what's next? And I'm like, no, appreciate the gift. Try and appreciate what you've got.
It's the feelings and emotions of what you want to have. When you can generate that first, then it's easy to manifest on the physical. Like what you can become an energetic match for, you can manifest on the physical realm. Right. So you feeling the feelings and emotions of having the sexy body, of being confident, of having the money, of having the love, of having all those things. If you can get into a place where you feel worthy and deserving, where you feel safe in having it, where you know that it's yours, and you clear all objections and all bullshit that you can't have that, then it's easy to manifest. But yeah, everything that we currently have in our physical realm, bodies, where we live, the family, all of it was a vision first that we held, and we were able to match the energy of what we wanted, and that's how it came to the physical realm. Nothing happened on the physical realm first, and then we became happy. It was all about that. It's like even in the times of struggle, it was finding a place of peace and joy and happiness and freedom, even though we could barely, pay for food for our family or barely keep the lights on. And when you learn to do it, sometimes in those drastic situations, you just become really good at expanding it and everything. So it's never going to be the external that validates you. It's never going to be the external that makes you feel a certain way. It's you in control of your energy, your emotions, your feelings, and your thoughts that creates the external world.
Right. And the really important distinction to make as well is, and again, something I realized for myself was, there's so much around, and Courtney's just touched on it, like how much people talk about the way we should look and what we should wear and what we should be doing. Actually, the first step is to look at your list of so-called goals and really tune in and go, is that what you really desire though? Or is that just what you think you should have? And a lot of the time, why do you want it? Because a lot of the time, what we think we want, we only want it because we think it's going to get us something else. But when you realize that something else can come to you anyway, you can have that anyway. and it's usually just a feeling, then you don't have to go that route. If that doesn't fit for you, then be open. It comes back to faith, doesn't it? Be open and say, okay, well, I know it's coming, I don't know how, and it doesn't matter, and I'll just buckle up and bring it on, you know?
You essentially circumvent and you skip all the shit that you think you have to do on the external to get the feelings and emotions. You feel the feelings and emotions, and then the external doesn't become irrelevant. It just happens naturally as a result. And it's more aligned then from your desires. You think, oh, I want this because then it'll make me feel this. But if you can generate the feelings already, then you can just really ask for what you want from a pure place, from a genuine place. Yeah. And I know Courtney with her clients, like just helping them get clear on, what do you really want? What can I have? What am I allowed to have? And they're like, are you sure? Can I really ask those questions? Can I really get in tune with those things? And it's just beautiful, the things that her ladies open up from again, like manifesting the dogs and partners, but even like, I want to do boudoir pics. I want to do like sexy photos. I want to model myself. I want to do all these things that I was ashamed for and told I couldn't have or was wrong for me to do. Desires are such a powerful driver for action and manifestation and energy and everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I want to bring it back to, you very briefly mentioned where you were. Did you say just 20 months ago?
Yeah.
I was going to say,
what was it? End of 2016? Yeah, so maybe a little over, I don't know the math on that, but end of 2016. So August 2nd, 2016, we had considered moving to California. We decided to stay in Phoenix, and it started as like a storm. We were on our way home from somewhere, and it was storming, and we get home and we're like, holy shit, this is the most rain we've ever seen. And if you're familiar with like Phoenix, it doesn't rain a whole lot. It's a valley, it's a desert. But what happened was like 4 storms converged in one spot. It was a microburst right above our house and flooded our house. It was wild because my mom doesn't live that far away. She's like, oh, I didn't even get any rain. Like, it was just insane. It was like an end of days type thing. And we had to pass our kids out of the window. Like Courtney recorded it and it was put on the news locally. But we lost, over 50% of our possessions, and we were homeless. Not long after that, because of massive medical debt and not bringing in money in our business, we were faced with filing bankruptcy here in America. So we were both bankrupt and homeless at the end of 2016.
And I remember one day, like specifically, like one of our kids had dumped syrup all over a plate, like, because he loved to just lick it up. And I look and he had dumped out the entire bottle. And I was like, oh my God, like we can't even afford to get another bottle of syrup. So I'm going to just scrape it back in. Everyone's just going to have to deal with this.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there as I was scraping the syrup back into the plate thinking, someday I'm going to tell the story of like how broke we were, that we couldn't afford another bottle of syrup, but that we made it, and we made it through that tough time. And so like we tell that story as like, we never lost the faith, because I knew in that moment, even when our house was flooding in that moment, that everything was happening for us, and I knew our miracle was coming. Like there was never a time when we were like, why us? Why now? It was always like, I know this is for us, and I'm keeping the faith in the miracles coming.
We could always look at each other in these dark moments and be like, this is going to be a great fucking story. Like, I can't wait to tell it to someone. We could feel and experience what was happening then, but we could always see ourselves on the other side, and we could always assign an empowering meaning, knowing that it was never the end of the world. And we've even found the humor in a lot of things.
Yeah.
As our house is flooding, like Courtney's recording it and we're laughing, like, this is fucking nuts. It got scary at times because I'm like, oh shit, like if we take on more water, like we're going to be swimming out of here. But yeah, it was just an ability to see things differently from what the appearances are. And that is what can carry people out of difficult circumstances, is knowing and having faith that what you're currently experiencing is not your end destination. It's just temporary. And as you shift and you allow more, everything opens up. And one thing that we learned in that time when we were both bankrupt and homeless was, Courtney and I have been great at giving in our entire lives. We give to everybody, we give the shirt off our back to anybody, but we never knew how to receive. And if you're going to be successful in anything, like you really do have to learn how to receive money, how to receive compliments and love and all those things. And we were kind of brought to a place where we had no choice but to receive. And we knew in that moment, okay, this is our lesson, is open up to receiving, because we're meant to receive really big things in our life, but if we can't even receive help, then it's not going to be available for us.
Yeah.
Right. And isn't that just the way it goes? I mean, don't you just find with, and I don't know if this is true for you, but I find with what I perceive to be my lessons, or the things that, the thing that I'm trying to work through, I can see over the years how that has shown up in various ways. Right. And if you don't get it, it comes back, and it comes back bigger. And for you guys, it came back in 4 fucking storms over your house. I was like, Hilliard, listen up.
We're always like, all right, let's get the fucking lesson right now, because we don't want to experience. I always say, you don't want these fucking problems. I don't want these problems over again in any way.
Yeah.
Where did you? Our youngest, our 5-year-old, he definitely is here to teach us patience, and like we accept and receive that is his lesson for us. Because, fuck, I don't know what other lesson he would be teaching me other than be fucking patient, just love unconditionally.
Yes.
I have a 6-year-old. He just turned 6, and yes, I hear you. I totally hear you. Where do you think that faith came from? Is that something you were both brought up with, or did that come from a previous experience? Because I know there are people who, when they hear that, they would just be like, oh, well, I don't know how to do that. And I honestly believe that, because I agree with you. We've been in some shitty times, and recently too, but I know in my heart, I just know it. And I think when you know, that is what gets you through it. It's like it has a soul all of its own, and you really can get through. But I know that not everyone has the ability to do that. Now, I think mine came from, I was brought up Christian. My family is very faith-based and a very supportive environment. So I've been really fortunate in that way. Where did your faith come from? Where did you learn that from, do you think?
Ours definitely didn't come from like religion or our family or anything like that. Like we both have like levels of religious trauma and things that we in our families that we don't agree with and did not prepare us for those things. So it was really like just kind of trusting a feeling that we had that like everything was going to be okay, that we had said yes to something that God had called us into. So we always knew that it was like we were going to be supported in that. It just didn't make people have a difficult time linking logic and faith, but it just didn't make logical sense to me that we would be called into living these big purposes and knew what our life was going to look like for us to not have the support or us to be going through something unnecessarily. Like it just didn't make sense to me. So I was able to like pull logic and faith in the same places. And now I understand better, like your certainty in any decision is what's carrying you through. Your certainty, despite appearances, is what carries you through. But for whatever reason, and thank God, we just had that to pull on. And when I didn't have it, she had it. And when she didn't have it, I had it. Yeah. And when we both had it, like everything was powerful. But I think that's the beautiful thing about our relationship is we've always, like one of us has always been able to have what the other one needed. And that's a beautiful part about any agreement, whether it's a coach or your partner or whatever, is sometimes you need someone to carry you through that. And I could always lean on her and she could always lean on me. And in those moments, we were never, I think we bonded together sometimes too, because we've had different experiences since we began dating. Nothing was like really smooth and easy initially. So it always brought us closer together. And not like from like our backs against the wall, everything is against us, but from a place of, okay, like we hunker down together and we know that we are supported in this and it's all going to happen. And we always see the other side of it. I think that's the important thing is you can always see the other side. And there is no purpose. God has no purpose for you to continue to struggle if you're here for a big reason to impact others.
Yes. Right. And I want to pick up on something as well, because you were just saying how you complement each other perfectly, and that if one has it, if one doesn't have it, then the other one has it, and you can do that. And so to everybody listening, this is just audio, but we are recording this on video right now. And I can tell you that when we started, Courtney had her arm around Nick, and then when her arm got tired, she took it down, and without a blink of an eye, Nick put his arm around her. It was just so gorgeous. And I'm not like a body language coach or anything like that. I noticed it, and I was like, oh, that's so nice. And it's just a perfect representation of everything you just said. And I saw it with my own eyes. So it's a beautiful thing. And I know that, it can be so easy for people to go, oh, well, it's all right for you to say that because now you've got blah, 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 blah. But I think your story is so important because that's fucking recent, 20 months ago. I mean, that's like 5 minutes ago, really, in a time scale. So tell me about the shift. How did the shift come about? Did it literally feel like everything changed in a second? Or was it more like you got to the top of the mountain and then suddenly went, oh shit, look where we got?
No, it was definitely some shifts. I would say a low point for us personally was actually even a year before the flood, when Courtney was still teaching. I was at home trying to get my coaching business off the ground. And we had this stupid fucking idea for me to be a stay-at-home dad and take care of the boys. And I was like, oh, I can just run my business from there. It was the worst idea ever, because they just wrecked the house, and like it was a mess. It was awful. I was so frustrated because shit wasn't working in the business, and like they would never give me any time. Like if I turned my back for 2 seconds, one of them standing on top of the refrigerator, like it was just fucking wild. But our masculine and feminine kind of not roles, but our energy had shifted. Courtney was working and providing and bringing the money home and paycheck. And she was very disconnected from herself and unhappy doing that. I was trying to live my purpose, but it wasn't working. So there was like a strong disconnect from us there. And I know you teach purpose and confidence. And so one day, like we just kind of like just had it out. And I asked her
in
a question.
In the parking lot at Costco.
Yeah. And I asked her the question. I was like, you know, what do you need? Like, if you could do anything in the world, if money wasn't an obstacle, if we didn't need your income, like, what would you do? And she was like,
I was like, well, I'd be in the gym all day. And he's like, great, do it. And I was like, but we already don't have any money. Like, what are we going to do? And he was like, just do it. Like, everything, like, you aren't you, and everything essentially will fall to shit if you can't be you and come home to you and your purpose and what you are. And so I went in and I resigned from my job. I finished out the school year, but even that initial step of me resigning from a job that was sucking out my soul was like an immediate relief, an immediate switch energetically in me. And that just initial thing began the path of changing everything.
Yeah, because if she hadn't done that at that time, like there would have been nothing to say. Like we were headed down the wrong path. Yeah. Because she was so miserable and we were so disconnected. So that just really, like, that shifted a lot right there. And then everything began to move in the direction of like, okay, now, and it was, if I look back at it, it makes no fucking sense. It was stupid. I wasn't making any money. It wasn't like I was doing well and I was like, okay, now you can quit your job. Yeah. It made no sense, but I was like, we have to do what makes you happy right now, because I know making you happy is what's going to drive everything. And so we did that, and I can't tell you how we were supported. I can't tell you how we paid rent every month, but we always did. And I remember having this moment. It was 2 years after I initially quit my job, because I quit a year before her. And I was like, okay, this is the 24th month in a row. We have managed somehow to pay our fucking bills. I don't know how we're doing it, but I'm deciding right now to stop stressing about the money and whether or not we're going to. I'm just going to decide. I have enough evidence collected. Bills are going to be paid. We can move on. So that was a big moment for us. But I remember then in 2017, we'd still experienced like the bankruptcy and the flood and all those things after that. I was like, I am doing everything right. I know I'm doing all the strategies that everybody talks about. I show up fucking powerfully. And for whatever reason, it's just not here. I'm like, I need some support. I need a coach. I need someone to see my inner world and see what I'm not seeing. I don't need another fucking business strategy. I don't need funnels. I don't need anything to change in the external. And I decided, even though I didn't have the money, I was going to hire the person that resonated with me, which is, he's still my coach today, Stefan Lovegrove, who's fucking amazing, America's Life coach, absolutely incredible. And it made no sense to hire him at the time. And so the story of actually hiring him was, I reached out to him. I was like, I don't have the money right now, but I'm deciding that I'm going to work with you. I was doing everything I can. We have bankruptcy on our record. So like, I can't get a credit card. I applied for PayPal credit. They only offered me $250. I was like, that's not enough. Somehow Courtney got approved, even though we had filed at the same time.
A joint bankruptcy.
She got approved for what, $2,000, $1,500?
$1,500 credit limit.
And I was like, cool, can I use it? And again, like, stupid. I don't know why she fucking said yes to this, but she did. She had faith and belief in me. And so she let me essentially max out that credit card and put it on there to work with my coach. and shit just started progressing. That I had no idea how I was going to pay for the second month or anything.
Yeah.
It was so illogical. And the breakthroughs that I got to see in our sessions is what began to open it up. Big thing for me was unlinking love and sacrifice as being linked together, and deciding that actually me thriving was the best thing that could happen, and deciding that struggle wasn't necessary for me to have success or to deserve what I wanted. And the moment energetically those two things shifted, money began flowing in, clients were flowing in, and we were hitting $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 months. I think it was within a couple of months that I hit my first $10,000 month. And then it has just continued to expand and grow. And I would never go without support. I will keep Stefan on my roster until I die, until like it's not an option anymore. Because that support has been so important in my internal world, nothing external. And I haven't changed what I do on the external. Like I even stopped doing sales calls. Everything became simpler, but it wasn't a change in strategy. It was the shift in energy that made all the difference.
Right. And I want to pick up on that as well, because there have been times over the years where I've heard stories like that of people going, oh, I just threw all like the last $1,000 I had and I've got the coach and then it's worked. And I have done that too, and it hasn't worked. And I understand now that it didn't work because at that point I had not understood the lesson that I was enough on my own, but no one's supposed to do it alone. That's the point. Like, you have it all within you, but we get to be mirrors and mirrored by other people. And so when I was signing up, like I signed up for B School, I signed up for a coach who was $1,000.
B School as well, right? Yeah.
Yes, holla. And and that's great. But I actually wrote a blog post about this because I legit believed when I signed up for B School that I was going to, in 8 weeks' time, have a multi-million-dollar business and all my troubles would be over. That was in 2015.
I convinced her of that when she let me sign up for it. I convinced her. We fully believe, like, this is the thing. You think that next investment is always the thing that's just going to break it open.
We used our tax return to get B School. So, like, I was, yes.
Yeah. And that's it. And the thing was, as it happens, B School has actually been amazing for me because I learned so much in that I didn't know. I mean, I had no idea about running any business, let alone an online one. And the connections I've made have been amazing. And actually, everybody I'm watching, I don't have a lot of people now that I pay attention to, but you guys are too. Amanda Francis is another one, and Kat Ruth is another. And we've all done it. We've all
been through it, yeah.
Yeah, and when I hear all your stories, like literally your story, if I was going to put pegs in, like I'm literally right there, and I completely get it. And it's because that, the reason that worked for you though was, you said it's really important. You said, I knew I was doing everything I could do, and I knew I was in my power, and I knew I was on purpose, and I knew I was doing the right thing. I just needed somebody to see what I wasn't seeing and unshift me. And that's the point. You didn't hand that money over from a place of disempowerment going, I'm fucked. Like, here, have my money and make it better. You weren't.
It wasn't I'm broken, save me.
Right.
It was, I know I'm whole and complete, but just help me fucking see what I can't see.
Yes. And that's the difference. And I think to anybody listening, support is crucial for that. But don't for 1 minute believe that any coach, program, person, even if it's a divine angel falling out the sky, is going to save you. There is no knight in shining armor. You're the fucking knight. Like, get up on your horse and fucking sort that shit out. And then, like, gather your knights around you and they'll support you too. But it really is that distinction. And I love that. I think that's amazing. And yeah, it's been the same for me too. And I'm literally, like you just said, oh, I knew I needed to have that. I'm literally at that point as well. I literally messaged, it was Kat Ruth actually, recently, and was like, I don't know how, but I will work with you in 2019. I will. I met her for dinner actually. She came over to London and we went for dinner back in November. So it's really nice because I've actually met her in real person. I wanted to keep touching her face. I was like, oh my God, you're real. But that's the thing. And it's not that I think, oh, I'll do that because she's going to do it for me, or some magic's going to happen. It's literally, this is the next logical step. I see it, I feel it, and I will do it. I just don't know how, but that's cool. That's fine.
And that's why we say, like, don't hire a coach just because, like, your ego is speaking to something, or you need to hire a coach. Like, if something resonates deeply in your soul, that this is the person that I want supporting me. This is a person that has the type of lifestyle and business that I want. This is the type of person that holds a level of certainty. We know Kat has that. We know Amanda has that. We hold that. The level of certainty that I can really lean into as I'm moving through new phases and becoming who I always meant to be, who I've always been. Like, that's a worthwhile investment to me. Those are the ones that make all the difference. Those are the game changers in your life, the people who can give you the level of certainty that they already embody.
Right. And the thing I'm loving that's becoming really apparent to me, and to go a little bit, I suppose, spiritual for a second, is it really honestly, truly feels to me like there's been some kind of calling in, like energetically since last year, since about the middle of last year. People are waking up at a rate of knots, and they're waking up dazed and confused going, holy shit, like, where am I? What, like, I know what I'm doing is not quite right, and I need to shift into this, but I don't quite know. And there are people like you and Kat and Amanda and me and plenty of others like us who are blazing the trail, and we're all staggered. That's what I love about it. I mean, Kat's been around, she's like 100 in internet marketing years, isn't she? And we're all learning. And the point I want to make about that is, if Kat had given in to her fears and insecurities, which she for sure would have had, none of the people that follow her, me included, would be doing the work we're doing now. And the lives that you guys are changing since you realize this for yourself is phenomenal. And I want to give back the power to everybody listening. Not for 1 minute should you think that there's all these little coaches up on their thrones going, ooh, look at us and like, listen to us. It's not that. We're all on the same fucking path. We are all blazing the trail for each other. And when one falls down, someone else pulls us up. And that's the point. And you all have the power to do that for another human being and another million human beings and beyond that. And it's actually crucial that you allow yourself to get out of the way. Find, like Nick said, find the person that resonates with you. That might be Nick listening today. It could be Courtney. It might be me. It might be someone completely different. It does not matter a shit. Our mission is collective. We are all here to be game changers, to use your phrase. And and not because it makes us better than anyone else, or even because it makes the money or gives us the life we want. It's because that's the whole fucking point. We're here. And every single
all the stuff that we get to have because of it, that was never the point. That's all bonus. Like, we fucking love it, we're appreciative of it. But that was the thing too in carrying us through the difficult moments was, I'm going to do this no matter what. Like, if we won the lottery tomorrow, I would still do it. If we were fucking poor, I would still do it. I would desire to be resourced so that this is fucking, like, it's sustainable, but I would do this no matter what. This was my purpose and calling. And I have those moments, like when I'm teaching my Elevate course and I have 12 people there in front of me who are coaches and leaders themselves. And I'm like, fuck, like, thank God I stuck with this. Thank God I had support. Thank God I had the resolve. Thank God we had the faith, because none of these people would know me. None of these people would be getting this support right now. And I know I'm helping to inspire a next wave of leaders that are going to serve so many people. And speaking of giving me a boner, the ripple effect of me serving the people I serve, the people who hear my voice in this podcast, the people who hear what you do, and even like you think about Kat and the impact that she's had, the ripple effect she's had through Australia, but all throughout the world. And she's mentored and coached Amanda Francis. Like, the ripple effect of that is so fucking phenomenal. And I think it's one of the best things in saying yes to the journey and the path is how many people are going to be impacted by you. And that's something I love to do with my clients, is a visualization of, just imagine, this point in the future where all of these testimonials and beautiful things are pouring in, and all the fears that you once had are washed away because this is the impact you've had. Not just the people you serve directly, but the people who have been impacted indirectly, friends, family, children, all the people who are living an entirely different experience in life because you said yes to your purpose.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and it's given me chills talking about it. And that's the entire purpose of this podcast now. And I have an associated group now called Wake Up, Rise Up, because that's the whole point. And it feels to me, and I talk about this all the time, and it's probably getting dull for people that listen all the time, but whatever.
No, keep saying it.
But it feels like we've all come from, it's almost like a pod. Like there was a movie I watched, and I'm crap with films, and I can't remember the title, but they were on some kind of spaceship and they were all asleep in these little pods. And then one guy woke up, and then he woke up some hot chick so that he wouldn't be on his own. And it feels to me like we're all part of a pod like that. That's the image I get. And it's like we've all been sent down here. And, you know, as we came down, they were calling after us going, by the way, you're going to have no fucking clue why you went there. Good luck. You know, the only thing you've got is that nudge. The only thing you've got is that faith. The only thing you've got is that emotional scale to let you know, anxiety doesn't mean your life is over. Anxiety doesn't mean that you fucked up and that you're done. Anxiety is just going, like it gets to be better than this, you know, like look around and see what you can do. And the more people I can give that message to, and you can, and everyone who's doing this work, it just feels to me like the pod got activated. Like suddenly we all fucking woke up, and now there's an army marching across the world. And I know it sounds cheesy, but my God, there is. And there's a whole wave of energy, and I'm so excited to be part of it.
It's fucking amazing. Beautiful. That's what happened. I woke up, and then I woke up a hot chick with me.
Yeah, you did. You're the guy.
He went first. He started doing the work first, and I was like, wow, I really want that too. Like I can see like the weight lifted off. I want to know what my purpose is. I want to know, like, I want to feel good every day. That was the basis of it, right? We just want to freaking feel good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and free and we desire to inspire others. We do.
Right.
I don't care who you are. I don't care what you think you've done in your life, or whether it's good, bad, or shameful, or whatever. It probably came from a place where you felt you couldn't do that. And so when you realize you can, and when you realize that, you get to forgive yourself. You get to move beyond that. It doesn't matter. I mean, I say it doesn't matter. Like, if you've killed someone, like it's a fairly big deal, but still, like, you get to come home from that. I really don't believe anybody came here with the purpose to be bad. I really don't. I don't believe that. And I also think, going off of what you were just talking about and that ripple effect, can you imagine what the world would be like if every single person were tapped into why they were here and what they were supposed to be doing? Like, what kind of world would we be living in? There'd be no war. There'd be none of this conflict, because that comes from fear, and that comes from jealousy, and that comes from people being disconnected. Right. So, I feel like there should have been some music playing then when we said that bit.
But awakened, connected, loving people aren't going to hurt other people. Like it's the path to ending suffering in the world is coming back home to our purpose and the reason why we're here. Because when we're connected to that, we realize our interconnectedness. It's cliche, but when we return to love, love is what expands, and all the suffering and misery and war and hatred, like all of it dissipates. We can't fix the problem from within the problem. We literally have to rise above it and be what we're called to become. And that's the healing of the world. And so people waking up, each one of those pods that wakes up, that is where the healing of the world happens. And I can't do it on my own. You can't do it on your own. Even like us and Amanda and Kat, like we can't all do it, but we can inspire people to wake up who then inspire others. And that's why I love the ripple effect. Is I love like the visualization of me impacting this and seeing like this light spreading throughout the state, and then the United States, and then the world, and everybody, other people that I'm inspiring doing the same thing, and reaching everybody. Nobody is unreachable when we are sharing our purpose with others.
Right, absolutely. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I was going to say, do you have some inspirational way to close the podcast? But I think you just did. That's absolutely amazing. And Courtney, for you, what's the message you want to give? Because I have a lot of women that listen to this, and I was trying just to remember how many countries people listen to this podcast in. It's countries I've never even heard of. We're all over the world now. So to all the women listening, what's your message? What do you want to tell them? What do you want them to know?
My biggest thing that I tell all women is that your desires are valid, and that you should have them, and you're worthy of having them. You're so perfectly enough. And that is my big message for women, is just to know how worthy and perfect you are, and that you get to be you. And we love that about you.
Beautiful. And
when women honor their desires, it's everything to real, like, soul driven, good-hearted men. When women are honoring their desires, we will do anything. We will go to whatever extent for women and their desires. It's so beautiful.
You heard it here first. I honestly feel like that could be a whole other podcast topic. You know, there's so many ways we could go with this. And I hope that everybody listening really takes on every single thing that's been covered here today, because it was fucking powerful and amazing. So thank you so much for being here with me. It's been my total honor, and I won't be able to sleep now. I'm buzzing. Totally buzzing. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and to everybody listening, remember, confidence is yours as soon as you choose it. Tune in next time for another episode, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
And just like that, another episode is done and dusted. I hope you've been reminded of just how powerful you really are, and that you can take another step closer to living your true purpose. Just a reminder that if you would like to schedule your free intuitive session with me, please do so using the link in the show notes, where you will also find the links to join the Confidence Academy Members Club and my new free Facebook group, Wake Up, Rise Up. In the meantime, dream big and live bigger. And remember, confidence is yours as soon as you choose it.